Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. In today's video, we're continuing on at the listed building over in Kent, and we're hopefully going to finish off the central heating runs. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll just show you a quick run through of where we're at with these central heating runs as we're nearing completion. So Bailey's managed to do a lot of the chasing into the floor to get the pipe runs in. So this pipe run here is going to our final two radiators of the run. So that's coming through here. So the pipework will just be clipped to the floor as this will all be screeded over. We've got a radiator going here to replace this old one, and we've got a radiator going on the other side of this wall here. There was already a radiator there, so we're hopefully just going to be able to take the old pipework out behind that box in and just poke our new pipes through. So, like I say, Bailey's been very busy. He's had a lot of the dusty work. So these are 22mm flow returns here, all chased into the street. Over on the left here is actually going to be one of the bathrooms, so the pipes are obviously ready there just to tee off and go to a floor standing towel radiator, I believe. So big chase here coming through one of the guest bedrooms. We've got two radiators going underneath each wall here, and all the pipe work is lagged already. So it's all good to go with the screen once we've pressure tested everything. In here is one of the main lounges, so we've got a big radiator going underneath the wall, and then again he's chased through the floor here, and that leads out to like a conservatory area where we're going to be having two radiators either side of this barn door. But at the moment we're not exactly sure what's happening with the floor finishes or wall finishes in here, so eventually there will be one rad there and one radiator there as well. So what we're going to do is just cap these two pipes here in the floor, and that'll be ready to go. So over here we've got our main drops that come down from the first floor in 22mm there, so we'll get those lagged, and part of my work today is I just need to tee those pipes into the manifold. Then walking through, so we've got in the dining room, radiator on the wall, pipes poking through the other side. We was originally going to have it underneath this window, but we're not going to be lifting up this oak floor, and it was just too awkward, so that is staying exactly where it is. Then coming through the entrance hallway, Bailey's got his pipes there sticking out through the wall. And then we've got our kitchen feeds here for our radiators, one either side of this back door here. And then the main bulk of work that I did yesterday was get these feeds down. So if you remember in the last video I had these pipes finishing here at low level, so what I managed to do yesterday was get them all bent round, and then I've actually run them through this fireplace. So in the last video I did say I was going to be running that in MLCP, but I was unaware that this fireplace was going to be completely boarded over. So what I've actually done is just brought the pipe through here, as all of this is actually all going to be boxed off with a vent. So that's made it a little bit easier, to be fair. And then in here, which is the utility room, got a flow return, hot and cold, some essential heating pipes. I've just dived them straight into the screed, so they did tell me I could run them on the top of the floor, but I just thought it'd just be more safer for the pipe just to be buried slightly, so I've just chased that out. And then in today's video I'm just going to hang this radiator, or today's job, I'm just going to hang this radiator here, get that piped up, and then these pipes here which are going to be feeding the sink, I'm just going to get them capped. And yeah, that's it. We're pretty much done a rough first fix throughout the whole part of this property. So what we're going to be moving on to after today's work, or today's jobs, is hopefully start first fixing the bathrooms. Okay, so I've got my radiator position located on the wall, and what I've done is I've allowed 620 for the worktop to protrude out from this wall here, and marked it on the wall. And then what I'm doing is I'm just centering it from the end of the wall to the end of the worktop. So I had already got the pipework ready in the floor, so like I say, I had it chased in. I use a Metabo chaser with the dual blades. It gives you a nice straight cut, takes out like the cavity as you're using it, and it's very, very good for 15mm pipe because it holds it nice and tight with a bit of tape on it to protect it. I know this bit's not insulated, so you have to call the Part L police on me for that, but this all will be along here. So what I've done is I've got my radiator prepared, so I've just cut out the bubble wrap on the back of these hooks and also cut down the side to slide out the radiator bracket. That just allows us to hang these radiators in the protective packaging. Because this is a working building site, there's obviously going to be loads of dust and debris, and I just don't want them getting totally covered, but it's a lot better to get your radiators hung at this stage and piped up, because you know you're going to get it 100% right, especially when the pipe's coming up through the floor. So if you just leave 2 towels sticking up, it's a good chance it's going to be totally wrong. So yeah, so let's get on with that. Okay, so the radiator is all on the wall now, nice and level, and at this stage I start to cut out the holes for the radiator towel. So just get your knife and carefully cut around that 1/2 inch hole. What I need to do, because this radiator is on its own separate drop, is I need to add a drain off on. So rather than teeing in a drain off on the pipework, always use these lock shield drain off valves. So I feel like they look a lot nicer and saves you having a nasty brass drain off sticking out on the side. So what I'll do is I'll get these glued in with the Loctite glue. So you can get a cheaper version from Screwfix, which is just as good, to be honest, so go and get that one instead. Right, I'm just starting to get my pipework in position now, and I just want to show you exactly how I do that. So what I'm using is the laser level. So I'm setting up the laser on the side of the pipework. So as you can see, I'm making sure that the pipework's dropping down nice and straight. And then I'll also put the laser onto the front. And then once I've got it perfectly straight, I'll get it all soldered up. So that way you can ensure that this radiator is first fixed 100% right. And if anybody knocks it or kinks the pipework, you'll know that that wasn't you. You've done everything you possibly can. Okay, so moving on to the next job, I now need to put a radiator underneath these stairs in the entrance hallway. So that wasn't originally on the plan, so I've just started to get the pipes in now, so I'll just show you. I have to excuse the music, the electricians are pumping away. So, come through here. Right, so over here what I've had to do is just remove a bottom section of plasterboard. I'll just run the multi-tool around it just to keep it nice and level, so it's an easy repair. And I've just notched the face of these timbers for the stud work. So what I've done is I've decided I'm going to have a 1200 radiator, so I've added 45mm each side for the tails, and then just poked them through nice and level. So from this point here, I've come round that bend and I've drilled back into the plant room. So in the plant room where the electrics are actually going, I need to run some pipes up to the manifold now on the first floor. Okay, so I'm just heading over to the other side now and we'll just see how Bailey's getting on. So we're just walking through the old conservatory type area where all this York stone is going to be taken up. And as you can see, he starts to get his pipework in on the floor now. So all this is actually just going to be directly screeded over. So we'll get our pipework insulated and then they can just screed straight on top of that. So there's no Celotex actually going down on top of this. So he's doing really well. He's had to dive into the floor there, obviously, to get the pipes underneath and then to not come above screed level. So it's teed off here, and then that's feeding this new radiator here on the left. So it's nearly there. We're just stopping for lunch now, so we jump on that afterwards, and then it's just teed off here, ready for the final radiator. So pretty good feeling getting towards the end of the heating runs. We've been slogging it quite hard lately, so looking forward to getting this all done. So as you can see, this runs all the way back to here, and then he sleeved it through this threshold here and we're straight back into the bathroom where we started. So yeah, really getting there, and looking forward to getting this big chunk of the job done. Okay, so I've had to move back over to the raw renovation. The client is coming down for the weekend and I need to make sure that everything's operational. Up on the top floor bathroom, I just need to put some flexible tap connectors on the basin, and the builder's asked me to put some wall mounted taps down in a cloakroom. So let me just show you the top floor bathroom as it's pretty much nearly there now. So any of you that watched my previous videos would have seen us working on this one, and it's pretty much all decorated now, so it's looking very, very nice. So the only thing I didn't do last time was just connect up the basin. So I just need to get some flexies on that. But this one, I must admit, I really do like it. I love the paneling, I love the blue colour. I think they've done a really good job getting it all finished, so it looks pretty immaculate. So yeah, let's get these taps on. Okay, so as you can see, we've got the brass shank coming off of the basin tap either side, and I previously installed these isolation valves, so I could in theory put a little bit of copper pipe from here to here, but I'm not going to do that just because there's already flexies underneath, because it's one of those 3-point taps where you've got the spout in the middle. So just take these off. So I already know the water's all onto this, I've just literally got to turn it on the isolation valves. So what I've done is I've brought 2 different size flexible hoses, 1/2 inch to 1/2 inch, and I'll just see which one works better, because sometimes the smaller ones actually won't work at all, because you've got to almost create like a loop like that. And to be fair, actually don't look too bad as far as flexies go. So what I won't do, is I won't tuck it in any further, because it might get away in the plug mechanism. So what I'll do is just do those up hand tight, and then I'll pinch them up. Okay, so I've just had the water on, just flushing out these taps, making sure that the trap and everything is okay, but look how much scale and debris has come out. Pretty crazy really. But looks really nice to get that cleaned up, make sure everything's okay, and then can move downstairs to the cloakroom. Right, so I'll just give you a quick update on where we're at with the bathroom. So this was in the copper first fix video. I'll put a link at the end if you're interested to see how we first fixed this one. So the tiling's just begun, and underfloor heating is actually underneath the ditching mat. I believe that's the way this tiler likes to do it. So there's a freestanding bath going over here, and we haven't put any feeds in or waste, and that's because the Leroy Brooks taps, you have to be able to access them from below. So the ceiling is still down underneath, and what we'll do is we'll actually cut the holes once it's all tiled and the bath's on site. So you can see on this side, this is where that double vanity is going. They've actually OSB'd it all, which is great. We can get some decent fixings on it, and same here for the tower radiator. So yeah, it's getting in this one, not too far off. You can see the type of tiles they're having. See those quite a lot already, don't you? So yeah, it's looking pretty good. So we'll just hop over to the next bathroom, which is literally around the corner. So I believe this one's pretty much there, ready for us to start second fixing. So tower over on the left, and then yeah, Leroy Brooks shower valve. So it's been quite tricky for the tile, I think, this one. Those type of tiles are quite difficult to get right, but it's done a really good job. And yeah, paneling looks great. So we'll jump on this one as soon as that second bathroom's finished and get both of these second fixed. Okay, so I'm downstairs now in the cloakroom, and I'm about to first fix these wall mounted taps, and they are looking like one of the most difficult wall mounted taps I've ever done. So they're Leroy Brooks. They are very nice, but I must admit I'm not overly impressed with the installation method. So they give you each part individually. So normally when you do wall mounted taps, you'll have like one brass section, you bolt it to the wall. It's nice and easy, you just chuck your laser through it. But it seems the higher end you go, the more difficult they want to make it for you. So the stage I'm at the moment is I've got my wall ravens onto the wall, and I've mounted each of the brass sections individually onto that wall raven there. So what I've had to do as well is cut a section out of the wall ravens, because you can see the threaded joints on the bottom need fittings to go on, which they don't supply you with. As well as that, there's no T-piece connection. So normally, even on like the lower end ones, you might get some sort of flexible hose that would join onto the T-piece section. So what I actually need to do is come off here and then tee a bit of copper in together, solder into the back of that. So I've put that on there because that didn't come with it. And then from there, I've just got to pick up these hot and cold. So originally before we was having a normal basin tap, but we're not. So I just need to cut into them and then pipe it up to the bottom. So the hard bit, I would say, is done. I've been messing around for a good hour and a half, I would say, just trying to get these right, getting the right depths. So again, this is where those wall ravens do shine through. So as you can see, I've had to take a section out of this timber, but I can actually secure the wall raven on that side there. So yeah, what I'm going to do is go and pop to the merchants, grab some bits, and I can get it piped up. Okay, so that was quite painstaking, but I have got it all piped up now. So originally I actually got the hot and colds around the wrong way, but it wouldn't have mattered because I was bringing it into a vanity unit. So luckily I spotted that, otherwise I would have piped it out wrong. So yeah, it's all done. So as you can see, I've just had to tee the pipes together and then come down for the spout. It's quite tricky, I must admit, to get them exactly right, so exactly the right distance apart, exactly the right level, but got there in the end. So yeah, I've got the water on now, so always make sure, you know, you obviously pressure test it and then check that your levers are all level across. So yeah, pretty happy with how it's gone. It took longer than I was expecting, but it's a Friday, so there you go.